doing just the live Q&A session for the North Carolina Fish and Hang. And this is our third year doing this event. So it's getting better and better, and we've learned stuff, we're changing things, but we're also keeping a lot of it the same just because it is so fun. And you'll see that kind of as the years progress, how you'll continue to just meet these amazing women and then just want to keep coming back because these are going to be your lifelong friends. So tonight, the plan is we're going to talk about the entire weekend because there's a lot of moving parts, and hopefully everything that we go over will help you feel a little bit more empowered to have some, knowledge about the area and be able to go out and do a little more research for the weekend. And then we're going to open it up to a Q&A afterwards. So hopefully we've done our job to help answer most of the questions that you all may have. My name is Heather Hodson. I go by the pronouns of she, her, hers. I live in Spokane. This will be my, I think, fourth time coming to Western North Carolina, and it is amazing. Like the native wild brook trout fishing it's some of my favorite in the entire country. It is such a magical place. And I've been fortunate enough to fish with all of the co-hosts and just work side by side with all of these amazing women. And I can't wait for you all to meet them as well. So Hannah, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. So my name's Hannah. I work at Headwaters Outfitters alongside Jessica and Lydia. So I've been at Headwaters for, me and Jessica tried to figure this out the other night. I think 8 years. I think this is my 8th season. So we based that off of her little boy Waylon. So I think this will be my 8th season being there at Headwaters. So I am local to Rosman, Brevard, Trans-Fannin County area. So I grew up kind of fishing the creeks and rivers that run through there. We have plenty of water to fish. So as a kid that enjoyed fishing, and now as an adult being a guide, that was always, and hopefully always will be, a plus. So we've always really enjoyed working with Heather on this workshop and the ladies that have came through over the last couple of years. So we have never had a bad time doing this, and I highly doubt this year will be any different. So we are really looking forward to meeting the new guys and that are going to be coming out, and seeing old friends that we made over the last couple of years too.
Awesome. And Hannah wrote a book, and you're selling it at Headwaters, right?
Yep, I've got I have them there at the shop, and then I also have them online. So, but they'll be available at the shop.
Sweet. Yeah. And we'll do we'll make sure we attach that link too. It's always awesome for me to see other women authors. So Hannah, I'm so proud of you, and congratulations for getting it published and everything. It's really, really incredible, and you should be very proud of yourself. So congrats. Jess.
Hi, I'm Jessica. I'm the Director of Operations here at Headwaters, and it's our family business. So I am the second generation to run it, and we've been open for 32 years. So my parents started Headwaters in 1992, and it has been a very fun, not always fun, but very exciting journey over the last 32 years. But we are so excited to host this event. When I came back to Headwaters in 2014, growing our fly fishing program, especially centered around just getting more women anglers on the water, was my focus. We started Pisgah area women's fly fishing not long after, and then Hannah coming on board, and now Lydia. We've had Stephanie. We just had a lot of great women kind of be part of this journey. Abby, you'll probably get to meet her some. There's just been a lot of women anglers in the community over the last year, and it's now I think there's just this awesome group of women with our Trout Unlimited, with Pisgah area women's fly fishing. It's just really grown from, there was like a handful of us in 2014, and now there's just so many. It's wonderful. But I'm really looking forward to this weekend. It's one of my favorite weekends to help put together. Love working with Heather. Heather and I met on a phone call. I just randomly called her up one day, like in 2018, and was like, hey, we just need to have these like camping trips with the women's. And she just, it was just awesome to see this all come to fruition, and everything that you guys have done with United Women on the Fly. It's just been an awesome journey to watch and be a small part of. So here to answer any questions and help everybody kind of navigate. And once we get here, just excited to host and have a good time.
Awesome. And Molly, I saw you on here. Do you want to introduce yourself? Whoops.
I haven't been able to see her.
Oh, I see her. There she is.
Molly.
It looks like you're in a stairwell.
Okay, can you hear me now? Okay, it takes me 20 minutes to find out where the unmute button is on this stuff. Yeah, I'm at my chiropractor's office. They're having like a social, so I'm like, I snuck out. He was like, "What do you do?" And I was like, "I'm on a conference call." It's like, it's not work. It's fun stuff. Go away. So my name is Molly. I currently reside in Metro Atlanta area. My mom's family is all in Rosman, where all of this fun stuff's happening. So I've been going to Rosman since I was like preteen. And I actually went to my very first fish and hang last year. And so really got to know a lot of the ladies that lead as guides and got to meet Jess. And it's so profound impact that she has on the community and for other, bringing women out onto the sport. And of course, this is co-ed. But I got synced up with it through United Women on the Fly, and now I'm a part of the volunteer opportunities within iFishiBelong. So I'm very excited to be back in my second home, and to see all of you guys out on the water, and I'll be there to be part of the cheering and the supporting and catching fish with you and helping you net. And so anything that you need that's not super duper official, go to the big ladies for that, and then just come for me for like the fun stuff and the cheerleading squad. That's going to be like my role. But no, honestly, very happy to help you guys with any questions or needs that you have, no matter how silly you think they may be. I'm sure I've asked something sillier and dumber. So by all means, reach out to us if you need anything.
Awesome. Molly's a really good hype woman. So just you wait. When she nets your fish, she might be more excited than you are. So it's that joy and that energy definitely flows through. So and Lydia, I see you on here. You want to introduce yourself? Oh, I think you're muted, friend.
There we go.
All right, we're on. My name is Lydia. I've worked for Headwaters for a little over a year. So I was a part of the Fish and Hang crew last year, and we had a great time. I met a lot of great people. Molly, we met for the first time, and we're really good friends now. I learned how to fly fish in Buffalo, New York. And when I first started, I didn't know a single girl who fly fished. I would go out in the river and never saw another female. So I moved to Asheville about 3 years ago, and boom, there's a ton of women that fly fish down here and love being a part of that. I feel included in a group of girls who love it, and it's just a different aspect to fish with girls rather than a bunch of men. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, we're gonna have a great time, and if anyone has any questions and wants to hang out, we'll be here.
Awesome. And then we have Erin and Stephanie. So Erin is also a part of and kind of the group as well. She was involved. She did some helping out with our Fly Fishing 201 workshop last year. And then Stephanie is a really good photographer, just has fun taking pictures of everyone, and is doing a lot with the Forest Service now with work. And I'm sure you may or may not see her kind of pop in and out as well. So we really do have a great group of individuals and co-hosts. So if you have any questions, then please reach out to all of us. I got us all lanyards, these like bright yellow lanyards that we can all wear with a name tag so you know who we are, because we all look different when we have hats on and waders and all the things. So just feel free to reach out to the person with a yellow lanyard, and we're here for you, or really anybody else that's in that area too. So as Jess mentioned, Pisgah area women's fly fishing in 2018. How big are y'all now? Like, I know you all are doing a lot.
Yeah, well, we started in 2015, and nobody showed up. And I was like, we had this little meeting and no one showed up. And then we tried it again in 2016 and nobody showed up. And so I took a year off, and I was like, I'm just a little deflated, like not sure what to do. And then we had another meeting in 2018. And there was just like this flood of women that showed up. It was it was just awesome. So it was just the perfect time. And since then we've grown. We host workshops. Debbie Gillespie, who is a guide at Davidson River Outfitters, another female guide in the area, helps us with classes and fly tying. And Hannah and Lydia, there's another girl named Anna that works locally. So we all kind of try to host different classes for educational opportunities. Our fly tying is more of like a meetup and a social event. And we work pretty closely with our Trout Unlimited, our Pisgah Trout Unlimited chapter, to just kind of enhance what they're doing and just be a kind of a community thread of communication. I know a lot of women have met like fishing partners where they now have people they can go out and fish with, and it's more of a comfort thing just to be able to communicate and plan and host and get together with people. So that's really our whole goal, and our, you know, it's been a really fun journey.
Awesome. And Headwaters. So you want to just talk a little bit about Headwaters and what people can get? I know that we have a discount code too. So if you want to talk about that as well.
Yes, oh, Molly representing the Headwaters.
Yeah.
That's our best-selling sweatshirt right there. And we have, you know, we've really grown in the last 10 years. We've really developed our retail program. We are a full fly shop, paddle shop. We have outdoor gear. We carry, we really try to support small businesses, and especially small women-owned businesses. So we have a full lineup of fishy wear, Yellow Sally. We just have a lot that you don't typically find at other fly shops. So we do that on purpose. Like, we really try to carry the things that women can't find in other fly shops, because you're kind of looking at all of us here that do the ordering. So a lot of times guys come in and they're like, wait, you have so much more women's stuff. And we're like, yeah, we do. We really do. And it's great. But we have something for everybody. Hannah does a lot of the ordering for our fly shop, and she has done an incredible job of getting the right rods and reels and equipment in here. And we want, you know, if you want to use the promo code, that's just, you can order online. If you want it before you travel, we'll ship it out to you. If you want to pick it up, you can, or you can use that code in the store. But we want to extend that to y'all, because we know it's helpful to buy from people that know the gear and have recommendations. And we are here to help with anything, whether it's a pair of nippers or a new rod or a fishy wear tank top, anything like that. We are here to kind of give you some advice and guidance on.
Awesome. Very cool. And we'll make sure that this code, once I'm sure you all are getting some of our emails. And so with that, we'll make sure that the code is also sent out there, so that way you all have it as well. Or feel free to take a picture of it right now, but it's just promo code Fish and Hang NC for that discount. And we're very fortunate also to have lots of sponsors for the weekend. So putting on these events takes a lot of work behind the scenes, and a lot of just time, energy, and money to put these on. So Trout Routes, and we'll talk a little bit more about them in the future, but they are our primary scholarship sponsor. And so they're sponsoring all 20 different scholarships for all of the Fish and Hangs over the 4 locations. Davidson River Outfitters, another fly shop that's in Brevard, so right on the Davidson River. And then of course, Headwaters. Fly Fish Instruct is a educational instructional company that has 7 different instructors from all over the world. I'm one of those. And that's where all of this independent angler workshop all that education has come from. Pisgah Area Women's Fly Fishing, as well as United Women Love Fly. So really incredible to have such great sponsors for this event. As far as the Fish and Hangs, kind of how this all came about was, it's been about 10 years now. I used to host the same format over on the Missouri River, where we just said, hey, we're going to the Missouri River in Montana. Get your own guide, get your own lodging. Well, we're going to provide some hangout evenings, every night, Friday and Saturday night. And with that, it's since grown. And specifically with iFishiBelong as well, wanting to be inclusive in all things. And one of that is being inclusive to locations, to what where you live. And so with that, we're starting to put different Fish and Hangs in different locations. This year, it's going to be North Carolina, Oregon, Montana, and New York. Next year, I'm sure North Carolina will be happening again, as will Montana. We're looking at possibly Austin, Texas, and Durango, Colorado. So again, just trying to move things around and provide a weekend that's fun and just enjoyable, and where all people can come together. So many of you have come to these events, or of us because of United Women Love Fly, and some pretty exciting news and a lot of work. Molly's been there along the entire journey with me, but we started a nonprofit. And so the nonprofit is iFishiBelong. So United Women on the Fly is actually going to be a program of iFishiBelong. And basically with iFishiBelong, it's, you know, we recognize that there are individuals and there's underrepresented groups that need to come together, be seen, and have events and instructors and leaders that look like those individuals. But we also feel that it takes all of us to create change. And so by bringing all of these groups together, these women's groups and these kids groups and all of this stuff, that we can bring these groups together with iFishiBelong, where we all can work together to make change. So that's kind of the elevator speech of iFishiBelong. Really with these fish and hangs, it's all about being budget friendly. We know that it's expensive to go fly fishing. So if we can provide a weekend for y'all where you come and, you know, it's on your budget, if you want to get a guide, cool. If you want to camp in your car, great. If you want to get an Airbnb, great. So we just are providing this weekend for everyone. And all are welcome. So this North Carolina Fish and Hang, it's open to everybody. So we're gender inclusive. It's not exclusive to women. It actually makes it more fun when we're all together. We have, you know, telling tales. And I think it opens up a perspective on how much fun women really have on the water and how different it is. And truly, once you have that energy and that vibe, the fish just start jumping on our hooks. I don't know, it just happens. It's pretty incredible. And basically this whole weekend, we're aiming for a welcoming environment, and discrimination is not tolerated. So we've done a great job at just making sure that there's no drama, and we will continue that as well. We do have a Facebook group. So this is kind of a great place for you all to connect before or make fishing dates or fishing, you know, plans with individuals. And I'm gonna say this, put yourself out there and try to connect with some strangers. So everyone that we bring into these events, they're not going to be strangers when you leave. And some of my greatest fishing friends and greatest friends are all because I've met them online. So just put yourself out there, and I think you're going to be pretty surprised and amazed at how great it is. Fish and Hang, where this truly came from, I'm sure some of you all have heard or know of Rachel Finn. Rachel's actually, she lives in New York. She's a guide up in the Adirondacks, and she's actually going to be one of the co-hosts for our New York event this year. But Rachel is in the Fly Fishing Hall of Fame. She's an incredible woman, and her entire statement of life is it's all about the hang, because that's true. It's all about hanging out, getting to know people, and just truly living life. Land acknowledgement. So where we're going to be, we're actually going to spend some time in Cherokee, which I'm pretty excited about. I've never fished that, or kind of the Smoky Mountain area, but there's anytime that we try to go to new lands or trying to, you know, connect and fish in different areas, always fun to kind of see who were the original people of those lands and the history behind it. The Pisgah area, kind of Pisgah National Forest, that is the overall general area of where we're going to be fishing. So here's Rosman down here. This is where the fly shop is, basically right at the junction of 215 and 64. All right, is it 280? Is it 215 and 64? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow, I'm getting good. And Brevard, and then Asheville is going to be up this way. If you look at the other map too, so kind of just Atlanta, just kind of the surrounding areas. And I'm sure you all have done a lot of research on the specific areas. Pretty easy place to get to. Most of us that are flying in, we're flying in to Atlanta, and then it's about a 3.5-3 hour drive. The roads are really, really windy, y'all. So be careful, go slow. And maybe those that live there don't think that, but for me, they're windy and they're really narrow. So the other thing too is when you're traveling, cell coverage is pretty spotty. I have Verizon. What's the best coverage or best plan or company?
Verizon.
Okay.
AT&T.
So just know that the cell coverage can be spotty. So why I'm telling you that is suggestions. When you're putting things into your Google Maps, make sure that you have service. You hit directions, you hit go to, and it's already started before you drive out of cell coverage. I know that you probably already all know this, but my coverage is pretty spotty. So if we don't let's say that you were to try to call me with a question throughout the weekend. If I don't answer, it's not because I'm ignoring you. It's just because I don't have cell coverage. So we will do we're going to make sure that we're posting things in the Facebook group. We'll send out a final email, but really that Facebook group is where we'll do a lot of communication. And then I'll give you all my phone number so you can reach out to me with any additional questions as well. As far as registration, this year it's new. You know, the last couple of years it was all free. This year, you know, especially as a nonprofit, just having Zoom, having email platforms, hosting a website, all of that stuff costs money. And so we decided to charge just a minimal registration amount of $50. Any additional money that is raised will go back to the travel and kind of creation of these events. And then if there's any money left over, it'll go back to the direct mission of iFishiBelong. So thank you all so much for registering and being a part of it. Within the registration, you all get quite a few different things. So we created a registrant website. So there's two different websites. I hope it's not too confusing, but we wanted to make sure that all the information that we're sharing here is on a registered website. So it's just, oh, and I should have put it on there, but it's ifishibelong.org/fish-and-hang/ excuse me, NC Reserve. And it's all over your emails. It's all over your, you know, you should have already seen this. But all of the information that we're providing tonight is also all in that website. There was, over the last couple of years, we were creating a PDF with all the information, but things kept changing. We kept having to update it. It's just better to have an interactive website that we can update. We've also created, per the request and per the survey results of many of you all that took the survey, we've created a Google map specific to each Fish and Hang location. So that's at the top and the bottom of the registrant website. And if you click here on this little arrow, it'll bring it down and it'll give you where the Fish and Hang locations are. It'll give you Cherokee. We've also included a bunch of just DIY general fishing locations too. So that'll help you all be more prepared. As far as swags, everyone got a hat or a t-shirt with your registration. Now, North Carolina, I know you all got emails saying, hey, select everything by April 21st. So if you did not select your swag, we're going to be bringing some different hats and some different t-shirts as well. You just didn't make the pre-sale, which is okay because we're going to have extra stuff. If you see something that you're just like, oh, I love it, we're going to do another pre-sale in the future. So that way you can order any swag. And again, all that's going to go back to the mission of iFishiBelong. Also included in your registration is a free access to our summer trout fishing techniques. So this is an incredible 1.5-hour online course that goes through how to fish for trout in the summer. I'm going to be teaching it a live version on May 6th. That's on Monday. If you're able to join the live version, great. All of that information is in the emails that have been sent to you. But if you're not able to make it, there's already a recorded version of that course that you can access. So again, that's just included within your registration. 20% off your pro account for trout routes. So one great way to be empowered and trying to find different public areas to fish is to, utilize Google Maps, you look at other things, but also Trout Routes is an app that you can use. I used it last year while I was in North Carolina fishing kind of Mills River area up near Asheville. And I basically was trying to get to a certain campground and it took me right to the access point, which was great. I have used it also trying to find campgrounds in certain areas and whatnot. So just another resource for you all. Also, nightly socials. We have an amazing group of co-hosts, and our commitment is huge as far as supporting all of the local businesses, local fly shops, local guides. It's a huge push for us because we know that, these local and smaller businesses wouldn't be there without our support. So it's really important for us to continue to support everyone. There's a checklist here. Kind of just, so it's all on your email. It's on the website as well. So again, we're just trying to help you be prepared for the weekend. Why did we select May? Well, May is a great time for the fishing, truly, in North Carolina. The weather's usually good. You can you can wet wade occasionally based on how, if it's hot or if it's cold. Wet wading, you can be comfortable, and or also in boots and waders, you can be comfortable. So it's a great kind of middle time of the year as far as weather goes. But there's also some pretty great hatches. So any type of golden stones, some yellow sallies, some PMDs. So some different bug hatches that happen too. It's just a great time of year to fish. Weekend itinerary. Oh my, we got a lot going on. So some are going to be arriving on Thursday night. If you did choose and select for camping within your registration, your camping can go through Thursday through Monday. Come and go as you please. You do need to sign a online waiver, and that link is on our website, as well as it'll be in the final email too. So just make sure that you fill that out. Friday. So one really cool thing that we're doing is we're adding a new we're doing social fishing. So in the past, everyone's gone out on their own, and it's like, no, we all want to kind of fish together. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that, you're going to be in this great quiet area that's serene with nobody around, because we're all going to be around. So do know that if you come to the social fish, you're going to be around people and around us. But Jessica had mentioned native Cherokee guide, Michael, who is also a world renowned fly fisher as well. He's on is he still on the team? He's on the United States fly fishing team. So he is going to be our guide. So we had two different options. So the guided portion for the half day, that's already sold out, but if you want to come and DIY fish, cool, come and join us. As far as with the social fish, two different plans. So most of us are going to meet at Headwaters at 7:30 a.m. and then we're going to carpool or caravan up to Cherokee. So those guided anglers, kind of based on wherever you're staying, you all can meet us at Headwaters at 7:30 or just meet us at River's Edge Outfitters in Cherokee at 9 a.m. So totally up to y'all. And the road is it'll take about an hour and a half, maybe a little longer, pretty windy. So per Jessica, if you're prone to car sickness, it's recommended that you drive separately just because it's pretty windy roads. As far as DIY anglers, so this day y'all are on your own. We're going to try to get a co-host or two to also be able to go out there with people and just kind of fish the area. But basically you go out, you fish, you can carpool and caravan with us. River's Edge does have some of the flies that you might want to buy, as well as Headwaters in that area. Headwaters doesn't open up till 8 a.m. though. So keep in mind that you might want to buy your stuff from Headwaters ahead of time, maybe on Thursday, or we're going to meet at River's Edge. And then after the half day of fishing and then the DIY, those that want, this is not mandatory, but we're going to meet up at the Fly Fishing Museum of the Southern Appalachians and check it out. It's free, and we're going to meet there at about 2 o'clock. Based on time, we might be able to grab some lunch, some food together, and then we'll just make our way home that evening. And then our evening hang is going to be at 6:30 p.m. At the Headwaters Outfitters Campground. So pretty big day for Friday. This is new to us, this social fish, and I'm pretty excited about it. So Friday, don't forget, you have to have a Cherokee fishing permit. So that link is everywhere. You can just Google Cherokee fishing permit. Flies, leaders, and tippet are not included. So you're going to want that. Also boots and waders. So if you need to borrow any, Headwaters has some boots and waders, but if you need to borrow any rods or reels, please just reach out to me, because I have a bunch in Spokane where I live, and I can bring those down to help with y'all. And then we can buy flies, leaders, and tippet. And of course, food, water, sunscreen, all of that. As far as DIY anglers, y'all are on your own. So connect with North Carolina and the Fish and Hang group and see who else is going to be doing the DIY fishing, and you guys can coordinate your fishing plans. As far as guided anglers, we are stoked. I'm really excited to meet Michael and just to learn from him as well. Myself and then one of the co-hosts will also be with you all. So there'll be a total of 7 anglers in the guided area, the guided section, but you're gonna have 3 of us. You'll have Michael, myself, and someone else. And as far as the fishing goes, now this is specific to Cherokee and really Western North Carolina. You know, we spoke with Michael yesterday. He gave us kind of some flies and some tippet and some, you know, other suggestions. But when you're fishing North Carolina, this is different when you come out and fish the West with me. We use 3X and 4X leaders and tippet, whereas when you're fishing, you know, smaller, more technical streams, this is where that 5X, the 6X, and even 7X comes into play. So do know that that all, you know, comes, that's how you'll fish for Cherokee, but also in kind of the Pisgah area. So single hand rods, 4 or 5 weights. If you have a Euro rod, awesome. If you don't, that's okay too. Bring what you have. Michael suggested longer leaders for a more subtle approach. He says he uses about a 10 to a 12 foot leader, 5X, and then he adds additional tippet onto that for a dry fly. So a single dry fly, subtle presentation. He has about a 12-foot leader with 5 to 6.5X tippet. And then under his, if he does a dry dropper, then he'll go 6 or 7X tippet with his nymphs, and gave a bunch of suggestions as far as subsurface flies. Now, I'm not going to go through all of this. I will be sending out an email to everyone that has registered for either DIY and or guided, and all of this information will be there. So don't fret, don't need to take pictures or anything, but this will all go out in an email that I'll probably send out in the next couple of days. Here's just an example of the leader setup. So we have just a 5X 9 to 12 foot leader. There are certain companies that do sell longer leaders, so you can buy, you can purchase that. He does like a double surgeon knot here with some extra tippet, just a double surgeon. You could do a blood knot as well, a clinch knot onto that fly, and then adds that additional tippet there. So that's kind of, that was Michael's leader setup as far as the Cherokee area goes. And I also, there are a ton of videos. So River's Edge Outfitters has a great YouTube channel if you haven't watched it yet. A couple of great videos, summer flies and the tag system. So this is a great place. Again, we're starting to do the work, we're learning. So don't be shy of watching some YouTube videos too. And all of that will be included in your Cherokee email once I send it out. The hang on Saturday. So Jess, you want to talk about, so we have Friday and then Saturday evening. So Saturday, basically everybody goes out, goes fishes, and or you join us for the independent angler workshop, which I'll talk about. That's going to be at Headwaters. But then the hang, like Saturday night is where it's at. So Jess and the Lydia and Hannah,
we try to keep Friday pretty chill. I mean, it's especially with it being a long day over Cherokee. I think people are going to be pretty tired. So Friday is definitely more of a calm, like, hang out at the campground. If you don't come by the campground, don't have FOMO. Like, it's just, it's going to be, if you need to rest, that's completely fine. We understand. Saturday is definitely our event. We would love for everybody to come by. We have, we'll have vendors. We have a lot of local makers. Debbie Gillespie, who I was speaking about earlier, she makes pottery and earrings. We're going to have some vendors like that will have crafts for sale. We have live music. Angie and Hannah are teaming up again.
yes,
some Riverside jams. It's if you were here last year, it just turned into this incredible night of writing songs and singing music and karaoke. It was great. And we'll have the campfire over by the river. We do have a food truck here on site and the tap room. Our tap room has beer, wine, and cider. And we pride ourselves in having like one of the best selections of non-alcoholic drinks as well. So we have sparkling water, coffee, teas, lemonades, THC drinks. We have a little bit of everything for anybody. So and Lydia does a great job. She also works in the tap room for us. So Lydia does a great job of having everything stocked up and ready to go. But it is definitely going to be a fun night. And we do have some great music lined up, including Angie and Hannah. So we're really excited.
awesome.
And yes, and at the hang, I'm glad you posted that, because Lost Girl Creations, who is, if you haven't met MK, if you didn't meet her last year, I don't know if she was there last year, but she was there the first year. MK is an amazing soul. She's a great person to know. She's a local artist. She makes sunglasses. So her whole thing is she kind of paints sunglasses in these amazing. She's just a great artist. She's going to be doing rock painting with us. So she's going to have paint, and it's just a $10 donation. And she's going to have some guided where you can just stop by her booth and paint like a fly, as you see in this picture, or a mountain scene, or really anything you want. She's going to have that available.
Awesome. Yeah. And 4:30 it starts. So just if you're fishing throughout the day, come when you're done, come in your waders. Does not matter. Just show up and enjoy it. It's always a really, really
And
fun
the more
time.
you can carpool for that event, the better, because we do have limited. Last year, our parking right now was very, very tight. So if you are coming with a group of people, try to carpool for us. That would be amazing.
That's a great suggestion. I'll make sure we put that in the Facebook group as well. And then what about the flow?
Yes. And then Sunday, we always try to incorporate, we normally, if you don't know a lot about Western North Carolina culture, we are sing around the campfire, sip on some moonshine, and we're all of it. So we can't have a true Western North Carolina experience without some yoga or something pretty spiritual. So we're really excited to welcome Julie. Julie's been a long time friend of mine. And she is going to come out, and we're going to have coffee and tea in the shop. And then we're going to do some flow yoga, a morning flow yoga. It's going to be very chill. Anybody can do it. It is for any skill level. If you've never done yoga before, if you don't think you could do yoga, I promise you can. Julie is incredible. If you have a yoga mat, bring it. If you don't, bring a towel. We'll have some extra mats. It's another $10 donation to help cover Julie's time. But Julie teaches at a place called the Riveter. So if you've ever been to Asheville area, Riveter is one of the largest outdoor, it's like a mountain bike park and rock climbing park. And she's like their lead yoga teacher. So just an incredible experience to spend some time with her along the river. And we're going to do that here at the shop.
Awesome. And all of these are just a la carte, right? So you come, you choose any of the events you want to do. If you want to do them all, great. If you don't want to do any of them and you just want to, stay with your group, that's okay too. We just want to provide all of these opportunities for everybody. And yeah, so there's their yoga. So kind of like that's the weekend. People will fish on Sunday. Some will still camp. Some will leave. Some are going to fly home. So Saturday's or Sunday's just that morning, and then kind of everyone disperse. As far as resources go, there's a ton of resources. This whole weekend is basically it's a DIY, right? Where it's a non-guided. We have our co-hosts, and we're here to help you, but we're also here to empower you to start to do that work, to learn and find your own water. And so there's a ton of resources out there. All of this is listed on that registrant website. Our event locations, they're also listed on that Google map. We're it's in 2 different locations, the Headwaters Outfitters Campground and the Headwaters Outfitters, just the actual fly shop. And then those that are going to Cherokee will be at the River's Edge Outfitters. REO. So liability form waiver is required. If you come to the, even if you're just coming to the hang for Friday night, we just want, just to be safe for insurance purposes for that. So it's a quick little click, and I'll make sure that you all have that accessible in your email as well as it's on the website. River map. So this is also all on the website, but North Carolina is incredible as far as what resources it provides for anglers. So here there is the North Carolina fishing areas and trout waters. So I kind of zoomed in. It's a little hard to see, but let me look here. Here's Mills River. That's about north. Here's Rosman. So you basically hover over and you can click on all of these different maps. Also, if you go to the Pisgah National Forest, there's tons and tons and tons of information, lots of maps as well. Here's just the basic PDF of the Pisgah area. So as you can see, here's Asheville. Here's going to be kind of the Pisgah area, Brevard, and then Rosman's going to be down here. So there's a lot of places to fish. Camping, so if you are camping, sleep in your car, your van, or your tent, there are picnic tables and there is an outhouse. This year, we're lucky enough that we're actually going to be sharing the campground with a Boy Scout unit. So hopefully we bring them over into our hang for Friday night. But there's plenty of room for, as you all know, who's been there, the campground, and as well as the big area. It's huge. So those that are camping, we just ask that you camp kind of in the half area closest to the road. Is that correct, Jess?
Yes, it'll be like if you're driving into the campground, it'll be the first half of the campground you come to.
Yeah, and that's kind of where if we all know Angie and Yolanda, they camped in that area. That's kind of in that specific area, and we'll make sure that we have a picture, and we'll share that too. So those that are camping, don't worry, we'll have that with you. And as far as directions, so if you were to Google Headwaters or Headwaters Outfitters Campground, it'll take you to the site. Just know, be in cell coverage. Meals, so you're on your own as far as meals go, but at Headwaters, there's a food truck, so you can go there for dinner. Brevard has some great places to go as well. So there's a lot of great food kind of in that in the area. As far as there are grocery stores, so there's Safeway and there's some other grocery stores, or maybe it's not a Safeway. Maybe that's
yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
Stop.
Yeah. So in Brevard, there is a grocery store in Rosman. So there is provisions. If you're coming from a larger place, bring stuff too, but there are areas to get food. As far as the Independent Angler Workshop, we have a couple of spots left. This is an incredible 4-hour workshop. It'll be myself, Jessica, and Lydia, right? Is that the three of us? So we're going to be teaching it. It's going to be a mix of in classroom and then outside. We ask that you have a little bit of experience, such as you know how to set up a fly rod and you maybe have casted before. And I say that because I would rather spend the extra hour going over leaders and tippet and leader setups and matching the hatch and diving in a little bit deeper than over just the general equipment. So how we are fixing that is that we're also offering a Intro to Fly Fishing, the online course, as well as Reading Trout Water online course. That's included in your workshop registration. So you can watch that ahead of time and then come and learn all of the information that's best to learn from people. We'll seine some bugs. We'll do some match the hatch. We'll find all the insects in the water. We'll take our flies, and it's a really, really incredible course. So if you're on the verge and you really want to dive deeper and become more confident and competent on the water, I highly suggest taking the Independent Angler Workshop. It is included in a Independent Angler Workshop book that I wrote. So you get the book to go home too. So as kind of we mentioned, just DIY fishing. So there's a ton of places to fish in this area. We've created a map for you. So again, if you look at our North Carolina Fish and Hang map, it shows here kind of food, it shows the meetup locations, it shows fly shops, but it also shows some DIY fishing suggestions. So this is where you can just click on it and just go. Many of us have gone to, we fished the Davidson, Mills River, and the East Fork of the French Broad is a really easy, accessible, mostly there's a lot of public water that you can just drive and park and go fish. I know Kelly, one of the Fly women, she spent 2 hours and like her first cast, she was already hooked into fish. She landed like 10 fish in 2 hours and she had never fished the area before. So the East Fork of the French Broad is a great place to go. We kind of numbered it based on easiest to most difficult. So some of the rivers, we're thinking about what is your ability, as far as movement and wading. Like Davidson River Gorge, there are a couple locations that are a little more difficult to wade. Jessica and Hannah and Lydia, what would you all say as far as some of the easier wading rivers, like the East Fork of the French Broad, or any other suggestions for kind of easier wading?
I mean, I think the North Mills River is a good, like a easier wading spot. The Davidson, the lower Davidson, the general water section is pretty easy. We didn't really include that. A lot of people, when they think of the Davidson River, they think of like the hatchery section and up. which is definitely a little tougher to wade, but there's a little bit of section on the lower that's general water around the campground that's pretty easy to get in and out of. And then the East Fork is fairly easy to wade. Little River, depending on the day, DuPont is insane. So it's not necessarily there's a lot of fishermen, but it's navigating the traffic and the hikers and everything and the parking there. It can be a little crazy, but it is an easier place to access the water right there as well. But I think between the lower section of the Davidson and North Mills River and the East Fork, for those that have any wading mobilities, those are a great spot. The Champion Park over in Rosman, right next to the shop here, is also a nice place.
Awesome. And don't forget the Parkway. There's a bunch of little creeks and tributaries up in that area too that you can fish. So again, utilizing the Google map that we've provided, but this is also where you start to learn and do your own research as other areas. And please utilize the Facebook group too, and just connect and talk and be like, okay, it ends up being where people meet and they're like, okay, we're all going to go here for the morning. And if it's not good, we're going to go somewhere else. Be waterfall wise, how many waterfalls are there in Transylvania County?
270 confirmed ones. So
be waterfall wise. Do not fall off a waterfall. So look at the maps and just be aware. Public versus private. Do you want to I always ask this because this is not I'm not used to this being a Western United Stateser. So can you just talk a little bit more about public versus the private water?
Yeah, so in North Carolina and in some of the eastern states, you have a lot of small creeks that are fishable, but they're not navigable. So in North Carolina, if a property owner owns both sides of the river on a non-navigable river, they can control it. Like they can have the say of whether you're trespassing or not. So and most of the property owners will have it very well published. So if you're on the bigger rivers like the main French Broad or the Davidson that is in the forest, like the section of the Davidson that runs through the forest, you don't have a lot to worry about. But on the smaller creeks, when you're not in the national forest and some of the smaller creeks that run through residential areas, you definitely kind of want to pay attention to the posted signs and where you can. The state has worked with landowners to make like the delayed harvest and a lot of the areas that are accessible for fishermen. They've worked with those property owners. So just know that there are some areas that are going to be posted private, and that just means that you do not have access to be there, even if you're entering the water and you're in the water.
Awesome. And again, if you need to borrow equipment, this says May 15th. That's after the event. I fly out on May 2nd. So I'm going to say like by the very end of April. So we do have a equipment form. You can fill it out. Basically there's a little thing they're saying that if anything was broke or whatever, you would just, we'd get it fixed. The other thing too is how to get it. So I will work with you on how to get the equipment. And then I actually head home. I fly home to Spokane on Sunday night. So I'm asking that everyone bring the equipment back to me at Headwaters by 11 on Sunday. If you're not able to do that, or if you want to fish or you want to use the equipment longer, you can just ship it to me. So we'll work through all of that. But those that have filled out the borrowed equipment form, you'll get an email from me this week. So we can talk more about that. As far as fishing license goes, so getting a fishing license, just go to North Carolina. And I always ask this, is there a special stamp or what is that they have to get? It's on the website, but I spaced it.
Yeah, North Carolina, we just redid they just redid all of their licensing stuff. So there's actually, it might work now, I don't know. We've had some issues with that at the shop over the last couple weeks where if you go online, it hasn't been wanting to work for some reason. But North Carolina now has this super nice new app. Like most other states do. We were just a little bit further behind. It's called Go Outdoors NC. It should work on any smartphone or tablet or anything like that. So if it won't work online for you, try Go Outdoors NC in your app store. And it's super nice because then you make an account and everything if you don't already have one. If you do have an account, you'll have to just follow the directions, whether that's through the app or through that link. You'll have to kind of make a new account. But once you get your license, it's really nice because it stores it in the app as a QR code. So if you get checked, you don't have to worry about, you know, if your paper got wet or anything like that. It's just super easy to flash if you need to. So if you need to try it online first, do that. But if that doesn't work, try the app.
Cool.
And
Awesome.
there's no, to answer your other question, we don't have any stamps anymore. It's just the inland fishing license is all you need. And then of course, when you guys go to Cherokee, they'll handle you do have a little different permit for there, but I don't even think you can get that online. I think you have to get that while you're in Cherokee, I believe.
Get that in Cherokee.
Yeah. Cool. And I'll make sure that I update the website as well as I'll make sure that it's in the final email as well, the app and a link to that and everything. That's awesome.
Cool.
Washington doesn't even have that. So
yeah, it's really nice. It's nice. It was kind of, we were like, I don't know what's going on with this, but then it's really nice now. So it's making the whole process moving forward so much easier.
Cool. And just know the regulations. There's different regulations for wild, delayed harvest, catch and release. And really these regulations are to protect the fisheries. So it's your responsibility as an angler to know them. So if you're fishing a certain piece of water, you know, you just research what those restrictions are for that specific piece of water. Guide options. So we know and recognize that everybody does not necessarily want to go or do DIY. So there are guide options. So Headwaters has some incredible guides, as does David River Outfitters. So connect with them to try to hire a guide. And a lot of people will do half and full day guided trips. So that way you have that opportunity to still spend half the day doing something, or if you want to sleep in and then do a half day afternoon, it's a perfect thing. Lots of different fish species that you can catch here. Bass, some wild trout, some brook trout that are stocked, brown and rainbows wild as well as stocked. So lots and lots of opportunities. Equipment, so 4 to 6 weight rods, kind of average 9-foot rods. Weight forward floating lines. You can get away with the floating line for all of these different fishing techniques. 4 to 6x leaders, 9-foot on average. You know, you can add additional tippet to make that leader longer. As far as tippet spools, we say 4 to 6x, but maybe throw in 6.5 or 7x based on, you know, how selective the fish might be. Always bring a rain jacket. So this area in Western North Carolina is a rainforest, right? Or it's like a temperate like rainforest, correct? So it might rain on you. Yeah. So bring a rain jacket. You just never know. You could keep it in the car, but bringing extra layers. I have worn puffies while I'm there, and y'all might say puffers because that's what it seems like people say on the East Coast, but have some warmer layer too is not a bad idea. Boots, waders, polarized sunglasses. As far as hatch charts, this is all on the website, but you know, we're here in May, so we're looking at some mayfly actions and some smaller yellow sallies, some golden stones. So there are some hatch opportunities for you to get some fish on top water. Fly suggestions, all of this is listed on the website as well. So, but this is also when you go into the local fly shops, you know, and go into Headwaters and talk to them, go into River's Edge and or Davidson and, you know, talk to them. And some of these different, like Trina's Montana Prince Nymph or the Rio Foam, or there's all kinds of flies like this Jedi Master, Jig Duracell, the micro girdle bugs, and tiny little Pat's rubber legs. So all these shops have all these really unique flies. So it's a great way to shop small, support local by getting your flies there. And they know what's working. Lots of different techniques. So whatever floats your boat, then there you can dry fly fish, dry dropper, subsurface, or Euro, streamer. You have lots of options here. If you don't know what any of those are, take the independent angler workshop. No, as far as leader examples, so we just provided some just general leader examples. These are also listed on the website as well. So 7.5 to 15 foot, 3 to 6x leader for a single dry. It just depends on where you're fishing, how, again, how spooky those fish might be. Also, how big of a fly are you fishing? A 6X leader is not going to throw a big chubby Chernobyl well, right? So you want to have something that can transfer that energy when you're casting. As far as a dry dropper leader, so this is specific for just kind of the North Carolina area. So having some sort of a point fly, which would be your dry fly, with a heavier dropper fly, and then something that's lighter, that's going to be up in the middle part of the water column. So what I always say is ask yourself, where are you fishing within the water column? So when you're thinking about what insects you're fishing, where those fish are going to be, what stage of that specific insect, all those insects are at different levels of the water column. So those are the levels that you want to fish. So that's just, so if you can think about it that way, you're going to be more successful in your fishing journey. Different ways to do subsurface leaders. You could do weight. There is a lot. I've actually learned a great deal from Hannah, Lydia, as well as Jessica, using weight, but sometimes even spreading out the weight so it kind of slowly drops that fly down. If you're trying to fish a big area that has a steep drop off, you know, adding a little more weight. So there's lots of ways that you can fish subsurface or under the water. Here's just an example where you have tag end. So you would do just a tag end here with like a double surgeon. You could use a tippet ring to have your dropper fly, and then you have your point fly. Streamers. So this is kind of the way of choice for a lot of some of those small native brook trout streams. Will fish little tiny, I'm talking baby streamers. They're so cute and very, very successful. So having a smaller leader, something a little bit bigger that you can just turn over those flies. So shorter leader, larger in diameter. And then we're almost finished. Just conservation considerations. So United Will on the Fly, iFishiBelong, we are partners with Keep Fish Wet. So just if you're not familiar with what Keep Fish Wet is, it's a science-based nonprofit that is continually doing new research and new science-based studies on fish handling and what's best for the fish. So at the end of the day, a wet, bare hands are best. So if you're fishing with gloves, sun gloves, take those off if you're going to be handling your fish. Fish have a protective layer. Anything that is going to grab onto that fish could pull that protective layer off and cause harm to those fish. 10 seconds or less. So science is showing that fish that can be out of the water 10 seconds or less, that is an accumulative. So if you pick it up, put it down, pick it up, put it down. So just being mindful of this kind of stuff. Hold the net under the fish. These fish are slippery. So a net looks really cool in photos too. And also it'll help your neighbor or your partner that you're fishing with. If the fish falls, it falls into the net. That's cool. Also, you know, being that wing person where you're gonna, you know, reel up and go net your friend's fish or the person you're fishing with, right? They would do that for you. So it's always easier to land a fish with two people if you have that opportunity. Not much leaning over the boats because there's not a lot of boat fishing unless you're doing some smallmouth bass or some bass stuff, but being mindful of just holding the fish over the water. Lean down. These pictures just look better than awkward you trying to stand up and lean. You know, it just looks better if you lean down, you're in the water. You can just get a much better photo. And photograph tails, eyeballs, scales, all the things. Eat bananas. Fear no fruit. So that's a whole wives' tale that we could talk around the campfire as to what the superstition is with bananas. But and just kind of in conclusion, this event is again just being put on by these incredible co-hosts, and we've put in a lot of work for you all to hopefully feel empowered with knowledge and wanting to get out there, do some DIY fishing, explore a new area, you know, kind of immerse yourself in this, you know, North Carolina, Western North Carolina culture, and just have fun and meet new friends. All of the contact information, you can call Headwaters with any questions. My phone number, I'll make sure that it's on the email so that way you have it. Again, cell coverage is a little spotty, so if I don't answer, it's not because I'm ignoring you, but I will return the call. But also just, check in with the Facebook group and see if there's posts with all of that. And then I'm gonna just stop my share. And Jess, Lydia, Hannah, Molly, is there anything else that before we open it up that we should mention?
That was great.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay, so what kind of questions do we have? I saw that there were a couple of questions in the chat, and thank you, Lydia, for answering those. That's awesome. So yeah, I hope y'all are stoked. Yeah, what questions do we have about fishing, locations, events? What we're here for you.
You do such a good job.
That's the plan. That is, we try really hard to make sure that you have all of the information that you need. So, and it's getting better. I would say the first year, to now, we're definitely improving as far as the resources and what we're providing for everybody, just to make sure that you do have everything that you need. So, yeah, questions about Cherokee, anything?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have a question.
Yes,
First of
Amy.
all, I'm so grateful as being a scholarship winner. Thank you so very much, all of you.
Congratulations.
I
Congratulations.
know, and being new to the sport, it means a heck of a lot to me. Can I just show you what I purchased online for Cherokee? Can you see this?
Yeah.
Is that
So-
it?
Yeah. So you got the permit online.
Online. Yeah.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, it's
And
good.
it's
Yeah,
got to be
save
for that
time.
one day.
Yeah, definitely save that or drop a link on where you did it because they used to not let you do them online. So it's good to know.
Yeah. And I think it's on the website. I think I did find it. So, because I think Jim, you are coming to Cherokee with us, I believe, and Tom is also. So, yeah. So the link for the permit is all in the emails and online on the website and everything as well. So, what other questions? While you have all the co-hosts, we're here for you all. All right. Looks like we did our job. Yeah, good job. High five, co-hosts. If you all have other questions, please just feel free to utilize the Facebook group first, just because
Okay.
if you have a question, I'm sure that others might have that same question. So it's nice, kind of read the comments, read the questions, or just feel free to email fishandhang@iFishiBelong.org. I'll respond to those as well. And then I'll make sure that my phone number, I'll make sure that it's in the final email so you have it. And I'll put it in the Facebook group too, so you have it as well. But yeah, utilize the Facebook group. You can call me if needed, and we're here for you. So it's going to be a really, really fun weekend. I haven't even looked at the weather. We're still about 10 days out. So
Yeah.
who
I'll
knows?
never look at the weather here until
And
about
who cares? Yeah. And it poured yet last year on Sunday, it poured, and then it was so beautiful and so nice, like literally an hour later. So if the weather says rain, do a little dance, because that means mayflies. So I love cloudy, I love humid, because I love mayflies. So that's a great time for those bugs and those insects to start to hatch, and hopefully y'all will have some dry fly action. So all right, well, if there's no questions, then we'll let y'all go, since I got to save my voice because I have the Oregon Q&A in like 45 minutes. But please reach out, and I can't wait to meet you all, and it's going to be so much fun. And thank you just so much for your support of Headwaters, of us, and just supportive of the newly founded I Fish I Belong nonprofit, and just supportive of making change in fishing so we all belong and we're all out on the water together. It's really important, and it's really cool that we're doing this together, and that's really important. So thank you all so much, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. Have a great evening. Please reach out with any questions. All right, have a good evening. Good night.